Welcome everybody. John Lee, St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association. Um, I'm here with you guys, and my wife, lovely wife Laura, is out of town today, so we have a virtual disclaimer in a little bit here. So I just got a few announcements. Let's see here, not a whole lot, then we'll get started. Um, let's see here. We got okay. Okay. Of course, we got our Friday meetings all through already scheduled throughout this month too. Um, let's see, Wednesday, we're doing a little thing special. I just got a small group for it's May 20th. It's Nothing Down Robert Allen Day, I call it. It's Robert Allen, my friend and mentor's birthday, and he's and we like to celebrate that every year. He's the one that wrote the original book, Nothing Down. And so what we do, we try to get together, a few of us every year, and just kind of show some deals we did with no money out of pocket and just some things we made happen. And really, he was the original one. He used to come out to our group back in the 80s to the STLREIA here in town. And in fact, a lot of the members are no longer with us, but I do have a couple of things I'm going to be sharing. I got like Larry D's personal book that he got from Robert, and a couple other things that I'm pretty proud of, and it's kind of a special kind of collector items as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to share just a little bit about that. A couple of us get together every year and do that. Then and I talked about this before, this is kind of developing still. We're putting this together, but on June the 5th, we're having from 9 to 4. We're at the St. Louis Realtor Building in the conference center. We've got that all day, and we're going to do a pre-Missouri tax sale seminar. This is going to be a pretty high-level event as far as like deep dives we're doing on a lot of different things, and I'll send out a little bit more information on that. But we're going to get into the introduction to the Missouri tax sales because they come up in the fourth Monday in August every year, and a lot of people get confused on it. I personally have never been to a tax sale auction, but I've done thousands of transactions through the tax sale process. So I'll show you, and I know some of you guys know what I do a little bit, and I'll show you kind of what I do on that. And then we're going to get into get in the weeds on some of this kind of stuff here on procedures, strategies, deal. We're going to have our deal clinic there. This will include lunch. Then in the afternoon, Attorney Dale Sweet will be here. And he's the expert, as most of you guys know, and I know a lot of you guys are on the list for St. Louis City and County, and he's got some special things that he's going to talk to us about. We're going to also go over property values because a lot of times people don't know how to value and mark stuff. I'm going to show you how I do it, how I value the stuff. Which I think you'll be kind of surprised at some of that. And then we're going to show some marketing, some really simple things like that. We're also in the afternoon, we're going to get into some contracts, deeds, due diligence, and things like that. We will also have time for networking. Then I've been working on Saturday, the June the 6th. We've talked about a bus tour going around looking at some of the tax properties that are for sale, and some of them, the ones people thought they were buying when they bought other stuff. And we're still working on the details on some of this. I'm not sure if we're going to do a bus tour, or we might even do just kind of a carpool tour, depending on what we put together. But we're going to have the tax sale property exposition, I'm calling it there. So mark your calendar for that too. And I'll put some information in the chat where you can find out a little bit more about that. What else? June's going to be really busy too. June the 8th, of course, we have the networking lunch at Applebee's right there at Olive and 270. Then on the 26th of June, we got Scott Walterbach's Missouri Tax Sale Seminar. This is number 5, and this is in the Jackson, Missouri MU Extension. This is pretty exciting, and that's one reason we're doing the pre-Missouri Tax Sale Seminar on the 5th, so you'll kind of be prepared and kind of know what we're talking about, because these guys get into some really deep level information. I think is really valuable. This is really exciting for me. So I'm pretty passionate about this stuff. In fact, I'm kind of a geek on the tax sale stuff. But anyway, so we're going to talk more about that. And there's other things coming up, but we'll go ahead and then also in the upcoming event, I put together kind of a little handout that I've been doing the last couple of weeks while our website's getting developed. We're really close to that too, just that far away, which is pretty exciting. We've had a long way to go with that, but it will be done hopefully this next week or so, and then you'll be able to find out everything there right now. But we will also have that, and we're going to have a calendar on there and some other stuff like that. So I'll put this in the chat here for you as we get going today. And I think that's about all I have today. Let's see. The Laura's not with us, so we got a virtual Laura today. Let me see if I can get this to where you can see it here. There we are. Let's see here. All right.
Welcome, everyone. First, I'd like to do a bit of housekeeping. Feel free to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. Please be mindful of everyone else by muting yourself while others are speaking. You're welcome to put any contact information that you want to share into the chat. We meet here to share deals, look for deals and solutions we have in need with our real estate. We are not your financial advisors, attorney, or accountants. We do not endorse or recommend any specific solutions or contractors here. You're advised to do your own due diligence to your own satisfaction before you invest. The first Friday of each month is Ask the Attorney with Ms. Catherine Davis. Our meetings are typically recorded, so only share what you want others to know.
Thank you, virtual Laura. She's down in Texas this week visiting her one of her cousins is not doing real well, so she's down there kind of visiting her. So everything's good, as far as that goes. She'll be back on Sunday. So let's see here. Claude, last week's recording, yes. Actually, I have that. I have a couple of previous recordings, actually including yours, a couple links that we're going to have that I have in here too. So let me put virtual Laura away, not away, but put her over here, and then I'll get to that. So, anybody have anything they'd like to start us off with today? A lot of good things coming up here. Let's see. Yeah, Gabe, you got something to say? Help yourself. Unmute yourself and
I just like to say hi. I'm new to the group. I haven't really I've heard about real estate investing from years from my dad as an appraiser, and I'm now at the point where I've been a contractor for several years, and I'm really recognizing that I'm missing out myself by not jumping in. So hence the reason why I'm here and trying to learn more, and I guess just see, what's behind the veil. So pleasure to be here. Thanks for letting me and having guests allowed.
well, we appreciate you coming here, Gabe, and thank you. And yeah, it's what type you said you've done some things already. What have you done?
So contract wise or contracting wise, we
Uh-huh.
do exterior work and interior work. So that breaks down to drywall, electrical, tile, hardwood floor, laminate flooring. We can take down plaster. We can fix trim. We can remodel your bathrooms, kitchen. I come from a large exterior corporate company over the last 7 years, and I did remodel stuff when I was younger. But I knew as a young man that I hated when my dad had me clean out the gutters and frame walls in the basement. I didn't want to do it forever, and I'm 32 now, and I'm looking at the St. Louis area, and I've lived around it forever, and I love the brick buildings, and I want to keep them. So I don't know. I am. I'm trying to figure out, where, like tax liens and, why Section 8 or buying multifamily, and what does hard money investors really look like? What makes a good deal? What's if I find a comp for a property, and or three of them, and they're telling me that it could be, let's just say 150, but how do I know if the appraisers, my dad is an appraiser. I hear the horror stories where the realtor wants it to be something and he's going, no, it's worth 100. Why would I tell you it's worth 150? So I'm here to learn and listen. So I appreciate being in the circle with you guys.
Well, you're in a great place because we are education based and we kind of look out for each other and appreciate you being here. Do you actively look for investors to work on properties and things like that, Gabe? Are you
I I
your
have
business
not
going? Or?
I haven't yet. I don't really know how to feel about it. I went to some real estate classes recently, and listening to them talk, I went, "Oh, look, I'm right on the very tip of it." And I have a family member who was interested in being an investor, but when he told me he wanted 65% of the profit, and I'm going, "Well, wait a minute. I'm gonna find the deal, fix it all up, get all the material, and you want 65% back on." That doesn't sound like a good deal. So I'm jumping into it because I've realized like I can push further and further down the contract, and there's good money in it, but I want to be able to be receiving money from the work that I've done, not have to continuously work to receive money. So I'm just
Hmm.
trying to change my mindset, and I struggled with the longest time understanding how the taxes work because my contractor brain was picking it up as income, but the lay of the land is it's a loan, it's not taxed, and the way the money moves around between different corporations. So I'm really just understanding kind of the deeper inner workings of how real estate can really be that tax haven that everyone talks about. So for the longest time that was a mystery, and I don't really have anyone around me to. Everyone's got ideas, right? But no real. I don't have a teacher to. So
Hmm.
it's kind of why I'm here.
Okay, well, you came to a great place. This is a place we all help each other. It's a great place to find some, partnerships and just some, we try to give some really deep level programs. We've kind of changed a little bit in the last year or so, and we're heading forward with some really good stuff. So I think you'll be happy with what you got coming up. And yeah, sometimes you do, we've all done it. We've all got partners where we give them most of the money. It's kind of like when you find a good deal and like if you're a wholesaler and it sells real quickly, you probably didn't ask enough money for it. But then that's the stuff you learn as time goes on. None of us live long enough to make all the mistakes, and that's why we're here kind of learning from each other. So, I welcome you, and please come back. We meet here every week, and you never know who you're going to run into here. And as the website gets developed too, you'll find a lot of we're creating a wealth library and a lot of stuff that's pretty good, and a lot of it's deep things to learn from. So I think you'll be happy here. So we appreciate you being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Claude, okay, I put that in there. It looks like we might have lost Claude. I know he's a busy guy. He was here a few weeks ago, and with the hypnotic sales training he gave us, which was really good. Dave, yeah, Dave, you thought Laura was really here? Yeah, that's a pretty good video. Yeah, we cut that out. So, yeah, she was going to try to join us today, but she just couldn't with everything going on down there. So, all right, let's see. Good morning, Nancy. All right, who has something they'd like to share with us here? Anybody got anything for sale or anybody buying anything? It's a good time of year, one of my favorites because May, if you don't have all your real estate taxes paid by the end of May, then you have to pay them all. You can't make a partial payment before the tax sale coming up in August. And August will be here before we know it. So that's one reason we're kind of focusing on some of this stuff coming up. So you'll get a good idea of how it works. They can be kind of complicated in Missouri, as a lot of you guys know anyway. There's 114 counties, plus you got St. Louis and Kansas City, and everybody likes to go by their own rules. So that's how it works. Yeah, Yolanda, you got your hand up there. Feel free to unmute.
I just wanted to share some information. The St. Louis Metro Housing Collective is starting a Lunch and Learn series. And our first Lunch and Learn is on May 21st. And it will be on, I just had the title. I heard Gabe mention Section 8. So the first one is Section 8, the landlord's perspective. And it's going to be with Rashida Farquhar Clay. I can put I hope I can put the announcement in the chat. I think I can. I'm going to try. If not, I will just figure out a way to just copy and paste it into the chat.
Yeah. Now,
So
is this in
everyone,
person, Yolanda, or is this a virtual event?
this is going to be virtual over Zoom.
Okay. All
And
right.
it starts at May 21st.
May
There's one
20.
May 21st, June 18th, and July 16th from 12 to 12:45 p.m. And the first one is going to be on Section 8, which I love, but there will be others also. So I will figure out a way to put that flyer in the chat so everyone can see it.
Well, thank you, Yolanda. I know you guys do a lot of good work there, and that's on Thursday, the 21st, correct?
The 21st, May 21st, Thursday, 12
Excellent.
noon to 12:45.
12. Okay. The 12:45. Okay. Yeah, the lunch and learns are always fun too. I'm glad you guys are doing it that way because that gives us all a chance to make usually make at least for most of it.
Yes. And then our landlord event is coming July 29th, and I will have more information on that.
Okay, now that one's in person, if I remember right. Is that
That
correct?
is in person, yes.
Okay. And do you know where that's
Um,
going to be at?
Cardinal Rinaldi,
Okay.
the Cardinal Rinaldi Center.
Uh-huh. All right.
And we don't have the flyer quite ready, but as soon as it's ready, I will share it.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Linda. I know you guys do a great job
Welcome.
and
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, appreciate it very much.
I'm sorry. Hi, Yolanda. My name is Nicole. What's the name of your organization? Hi, John. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Nicole. It's the St. Louis Metro Housing Collective.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's a good group. You want to tell us just spend a minute or so on and tell us a little bit about it for those that may not be familiar, Linda.
Yes, it's the St. Louis Metro Housing Collective, and we originally started as just really a group to support investors and landlords. And we still do a lot of that, but we also help the unhoused. And we have a lot of information for the unhoused, how to provide housing for the unhoused. And then we also have information for investors, for landlords, like this Lunch and Learn series that's getting ready to start. That's pretty much specifically for investors and landlords. And then twice a year, about every 6 months, we have a landlord event that is just specifically for landlords. And it's as John said, it is in person. Our other meetings are Zoom or MS Teams, but the landlord event is in person. We have speakers. We serve a nice breakfast or lunch. We have a few giveaways, and it's really, really a good, fun event.
And
And
that
that's the one that's coming up in July, July 29th at
29th, yeah.
Cardinaldi.
Yeah, mark your calendars for that. That is definitely worthwhile. And after vacation season for a lot of people, before everybody goes back to school, because I know everybody seems to go back to school earlier and earlier every year.
Yeah,
It's way different than it used to be. So, so yeah, these are good events though, and like you said, like you Linda said, they're yeah, you got good food and great people. I mean, it's a great networking event. I met so many really valuable people at the last one we went to, and that was I think
yeah,
October if I remember right. It was
yeah,
well
right.
worthwhile. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate all
You're
that.
welcome. Thank
Yeah,
you.
very nice. All right. Anybody else have anything here? Anybody working on anything they'd like to talk about?
John,
Yes.
this is Nancy. I've lost my camera and I can't figure out now it says it can't find my camera. So anyway, I'm here, but um, I just wondered if anyone has ever worked with investor lifts. They also go by 7-minute deals. Um, has anyone had an experience with them?
Oh, okay, you're talking about the wholesale group in
Yes.
Investor Lift. I get emails from them. I've never done anything with them. I mean, obviously you'd want to do your due diligence, Nancy.
Yeah.
If there's something you'd like, I would check out the property and just, kind of see if there's one. Is there one in particular you're looking at?
Yeah, there's one that I'm interested in. I haven't seen it in person yet, but I guess my hesitation is they won't accept a contract with any contingencies. And I like to get an inspection. I do them quick, and I don't expect that to, I know they're not going to fix anything, but I like to know a little bit if it's something I can handle. And this group, you can go look at it, but they won't accept a contract until you remove all contingencies.
Yeah, I would want a contingency too. I don't know, at least an inspection, even if I did that on my own. I totally agree with you, Nancy. I don't know. Was that just with one person in particular? Because I know Investor Lift has a lot of different wholesalers connected with them. Like I said, I don't know much about them other than I'm on their mailing list, but
Yeah.
the people that put them out is usually a lot of different wholesalers from even around the country
Mhm.
that deal in St. Louis. So
Okay.
does anybody else have any experience with them? Anybody here? Yeah, I would just say, always, as always, if somebody you don't know, use caution. It doesn't mean that it's bad. I know they've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Usually people don't stay around or companies don't stay around long if they're not, at least up to par.
Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Well,
But
thank you.
I'd want an inspection too, though, unless it's just a screaming deal, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I mean, you can have one, but you pay for it without any assurance that you're going to get get the deal.
Yes.
So that's my hesitation right now. But
Yeah, I don't blame you because a lot of people want, earnest money deposits that are non-refundable, things like
right,
that.
it is.
And yeah, and I don't have any problem with it. I usually don't do that kind of stuff, but I know when I first started many years ago, we did inspections on everything, and I'd spend the 500 or 600 on a lot of properties we never ended up buying.
Yeah.
But it's well worth it because $500 or $600 is not that much compared to a $50,000 mistake or something you didn't
Right.
know about.
Right.
You know,
Okay. Thanks.
so
So, Nancy, this is Charlene Sears. I actually know a gentleman that bought a property from them before, and he said it worked out really well.
Good. Thank you.
Just so you'll know, but yeah, because I look at their properties too from time to time, but it's hard for me to place a bid with them as well because, like you said, they take no contingencies, and the lender that I normally work with, there is a contingency that they walk the property before they lend you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my drawback with that one. So while I'm on here, I have a question. Has anyone had any experience with owning a midterm rental in U City?
not me. Anybody else? No. No. Is that something you currently own, Charlene, or are you looking to buy
Not
something?
yet, not yet, but I'm looking into one in U City. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
So
don't
just
have
wanted some
personal
feedback.
experience, but my niece had one and she had great success with it.
Okay, well, that's two. You make number two that told me the same
Yeah,
thing.
hers was, I'd never even heard of the street before, but it's like right off Olive. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but not too far from that little strip mall,
Mm-hmm.
where there used to be a very popular nightclub there, but
Okay.
right by that, right across from that mall or near that mall.
Okay, I know they are really building up in the area of 170 and Olive, like really building up.
Yeah, really.
Hmm. Okay, well, thank you for that comment.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, Charlene, for mentioning the investor lift there inside because we get a lot of stuff, but it's good to know that you've had some pretty good luck with them.
Well, not me, just a gentleman that I know. He did.
Okay,
Yeah, because I asked him about it. So it wasn't me, but he had,
I
yeah,
see.
he said it was a really good experience. He said all went well. So,
Oh,
yeah,
well, thank you. We appreciate you sharing that with us. It's good to know.
absolutely.
And I don't see Amber. I know she does some midterm rentals, and she does quite a few of them in the city of St. Louis. I don't know you city in particular, but she's got a few of them. I don't see her on here today, but she could probably shed some light on those two. Maybe I'll try to get her come back in maybe next week or so. And
Okay, awesome. I think I may know who you're speaking of, but was she your treasurer or something?
she was the vice president for a few years.
Okay, I think I may know her.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay,
So,
thank you.
very knowledgeable. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Well, thank you. And let's
no
see.
problem.
Uh, is it is it Shiachun? Is that how am I pronouncing your name right? You got a couple of things there. You're at work. It's not convenient to talk. Oh, you used the pest control or the pest guy from last week. Yeah, very interesting guy. And let's see here. Seems like a good guy. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, that's the impression I got also. And used him for a couple days ago for rental mice issue and haven't seen the result. Maybe you could come back in and when you can and tell us about that too. That's great. And oh, you have some rentals it looks like also in U City that you may want to sell. Uh, would you can't unmute yourself if you're at work. Would you want to put your contact information in the chat for anybody that might want to talk to you about those. I know it's kind of hard to ask you about details when you can't really talk, but if you could put something in there. And do you mind if we share your information verbally here? I know you guys can kind of see this in the chat that are here right now, but it goes away. Okay, don't have a problem with that. So I like to always mention stuff verbally because for the replays and for somebody that might not have caught it the first time, your number is 314-603-1296. And you might have some rentals in U City that you might want to sell. So if anybody's interested in that, that's get a hold. Let's see. Oops, here we are. All right. Thank you very much. Oh, I see you, Linda. You put your you put the
His
information.
name, John.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm gonna spell it for you. Okay. XIAOCHUN.
Okay. Okay.
Last name Zhang, ZHANG. Michelle?
Thank you.
Michelle, that's okay. Michelle. Okay, Michelle, 314-603-1296. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Dana. All right. Melissa, I see you put your number in there. You want to talk to us for a minute and I see your smiling face down here. Good to see you.
Good afternoon, almost everybody. I'm Melissa Adney with One Way Roofing. We do roof, gutters, siding, window wraps, garage doors, anything exterior we can help you with. So if you think you might need new shingles, just give me a jingle.
Oh, that's great. And let's see, you had an online thing for your estimates, did you not, if I remember right?
Yeah,
Do you still
we
have that?
do. Yes. So online, you can, on our website, you can get a free estimate. So if you're interested in a home and you pull up and you can already tell, hey, this house needs a new roof. Sometimes you can tell from the ground, sometimes you can't. You can go on our website and put in the address. It's real easy to use. You can use your mouse to readjust the corners. You can edit the roof size. If there's an outbuilding, it should give you an option to maybe check the outbuilding or detached garage and add that onto the estimate. And I call it more of a guesstimate because it kind of has like a $1,500 variance in price, but it'll put you close enough to kind of where you need to be to see if you're, if you're trying to use the estimate as a negotiating tool, possibly for a property. It's a good tool to use, and it doesn't cost you anything. And then if it's a property that you're seriously interested in, we can go out and do an inspection for you. Now, the only thing is, if you're not the current owner, we would need permission from the current owner to go onto the property. But if it's a property you're looking to sell, it's a great tool also.
Yeah, very nice. And do you have the website you could put in there? Do you have a link you could put in there for us? And maybe
Sure.
tell us what that is. What is your
Yeah.
website there, Melissa?
I will do that. Thank you.
Yeah, can you verbally tell us that too for anybody watching?
Sure. It's www.onewayroof.com.
Onewayroof.com. Okay, very good. I see you put your number in there too. Would you like to give out your phone number while you're
Sure. It's 314-504-1581. If you do the estimate online and you don't really want anyone to call you, you can just put your first and last name and then at the end say, do not call. If you want me to call you, because the email will come directly to me after you get your copy emailed to you, then I will, I'll normally give you a call unless you put on there, do not call.
I think it's well worth the phone call myself just to go over the details. So very good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, of course. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now your husband also does signs, if I remember right.
He
I know
does.
a lot of us need signs. You want to tell us real quickly about that too? Do you mind?
Sure. Yes. So my husband, he owns a company. It's called Danicom Instant Signs. They've been around since, he's been there since he was 18 and he's 57 now. So he's been there for quite a while. And now he is part of the company. He's an owner. So he does yard signs, banners, car detailing, like if you want to put your logo on the side of your vehicle or maybe like your back window, something like that. He can do, I don't know if you can see this, but if you have, any laser engraving you need done, he can do stuff like that as well. So yeah, his number is 636-928-8889.
8-9. Okay, very good. Thank you, Melissa. And
of course.
If
They
you don't
do a
mind,
lot of work. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say they do a lot of work for real estate agents and investors. So just, advertising homes that are for sale and, open houses, banners that say open house, stuff like that.
Yeah, he does. Does he do like yard signs, and then he does the vehicle signs also, which is a big thing I know a lot of us use.
It is really big. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great way to advertise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the signs work really good. I had some made many, many years ago, and I still got a couple of them, and they work really well.
They do. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, if you don't mind putting his info in the chat too, that's helpful for everybody writing it down. Appreciate it.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Melissa. All right, let's see. Did I miss anything? Looks like we're up to date. Anybody else have anything? Tim Borman, you put your phone number in. You got something you'd like to say to us, Tim? Is Tim still there? I don't know. It looks like he might have had to leave. Okay, thank you. Okay, anybody else?
Hey, John, James here.
Hey, James, how's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I was looking for someone to have some loose siding, and so I was looking for someone who maybe I don't know if I could. I don't think a handyman might not be able to do it. He may, but I was looking for someone who actually knows how to do the siding. He might be able to help replace get it back in place. It doesn't have to be replaced, but it needs to be secured. So someone that does that.
Some siding repair
Yeah,
you're
siding
looking for?
repair.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you know what it actually needs? Is it coming off or is it?
Yeah, it's some of it's puckered, some is flapping, and I imagine that probably those are points where it was put on years ago, but maybe it was not installed properly at that point. And I was trying to do it myself. I did it a couple of times, but it's not stained. So need to find an expert or someone that has a lot of experience doing that.
Okay. What part of town are you looking at?
North County.
North County? Okay. And would you like to give out your contact information for someone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 314-821.
Oh, I think you broke up a little bit. What was that number, James?
314-749-2821.
2821. Okay, thank you.
And
And it
I'll
looks
put
like
it in the chat as well. And I
okay.
see Melissa said, yeah, we will give you a call, Melissa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
right
go. Yeah, Melissa knows a lot of people, so that
Thanks.
sounds like it's right up her alley. So even though it's not shingles for the jingles, it's siding for
Well,
the
thank you.
Yeah,
jingle, I guess.
I'm having some, yeah. I'm breaking up a little bit. My internet is going crazy, so
Yeah.
I'm having some splotches sometimes. So
Yeah, you were breaking up just a little bit. So yeah, if you could put your info in the chat, that'd be great too. Thank you very much.
okay,
Oh,
thank
look at
you.
you, Linda. She's on top of it there too. She's got something, guy for you to call there too.
Oh,
So
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
all right. All right. Who else needs something today or would like to share something with us?
I have a question.
Sure.
I found a string of multifamily properties on a road just from like looking around and looking at Google Maps. And I started looking up the
Yes.
property, I guess the St. Louis records on it.
Lincoln
And
Village
there's a
in
lot of, oh, sorry, Dave.
sorry. Oh, sorry.
Oh, there he goes.
What I'm seeing is a lot of like transfers on it. So I'll tell you what, let me click on this one again. Deed of trust, appointee, successor, trust, trustee, sheriff's deed, water liens, sewer liens. And I guess I'm trying to make sense of that because all of this looks like 10 years and they've got almost 40 years of records on these properties and they're not listed for sale. I mean, they're attractive looking buildings. So I guess my question would be is what does it mean if there's a sheriff's deed and they picked it up in 2024 on one property, but nothing after that, and on another property, it's from 2 months ago.
Sheriff's deeds are typically ones they bought at sales of some type, from either taxes or from, land banks. There's a few different things like that. It's really hard to say. I don't know that it actually means anything unless you're trying to buy it.
I'd
Are you
be
looking to?
trying, I'd try to buy it. And one of the sheriff's deeds from 2016, it says City of St. Louis. And then special warranty in 2019, it says land reutilization. And then in 2024, it says City of St. Louis again. So it just sounds like they're trying to do something with it, but no one's picking up the ball and running with it.
Have you looked at these properties?
Not physically. No, I just came about them last night on one of those random tirades of scrolling and looking for stuff.
Yeah, it's that's a good way to do it. You before you want to get too far into it, I would personally go physically look at it and even see if it's still there. I know back a few years ago we were working with some of the vacant properties in St. Louis. And back, that was 2023, I believe, when last time we looked at it, there was like 22,000 vacant properties in St. Louis. 16,000 of them had dwellings on them at the time. That was before the tornado we had last year and all kinds of other stuff. And we went physically looked at a lot of the properties, and a lot of them just, even though if you got a great deal on them, they weren't worth the money to fix them up. And that's one of the things we're going to do with our expedition I was talking about on June 6th. We're going to go look at some of the properties that you can pick up like that at the auctions and the sales and things like that, because they're not always what you think. A lot of times they are. It just depends. We looked at some brick buildings that look great from the front, these big 4 families in certain parts of St. Louis, but then you walked around to the back and the whole back was gone. I mean, completely gone. And even though you could pick them up for, $500 or whatever, it was not worth the several $100,000 to put into it for what your return would be. And that's one of the problems that we run into. And it goes back to due diligence. You just got to, and you can only do so much. And then there's still things you run into, but that's one of the things you start researching. And, it goes back to what I say, you really need to know your local area on where, I always tell people a lot, pick out an area and then, make that your farming area the way, and that's where you're going to do stuff. You can do stuff in a lot of different areas, and you see people from out of town doing this too. They'll come to St. Louis or even Cleveland or some other places. If they don't know the neighborhoods, they're getting these great deals, but are they really great deals? Because neighborhoods are different. You go from one block to the other. And back, when we were looking at these a few years ago, I mean, there were some places down right like off of Delmar that they were revitalizing, and they looked really good. And this is one of the areas we went and looked at. They'd have $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 houses on the one block, but the very next block over, they were just kind of falling apart, and you probably wouldn't want to leave your car there overnight. I mean, so that you really got to kind of know your area a little bit. And I know, that's just kind of, it's not a good answer, but I don't think, but it's really what it boils down to in a lot of areas. You got to know it.
Well, and I don't know this area per se, but I can look up and down the blocks and up on the roads. And you're right, like there's probably 4 blocks down, there's some houses that are burned down, fallen apart, porches ripped off. But this section of the road, all the buildings are moderately nice. Roads are clean, cars are clean, and the pictures from 2025. So if I go out there and take a look at it and I like them, I think there's some merit to it in pursuing that, knowing that there is a sheriff's deed on it. And I didn't see I looked at the recent tax liens, it's not on there. Who'd I go about contacting to find more information about the properties?
Well, there's a couple of different ways. You can contact the city to see if there's some, see what the status is with it. The tax deeds are the tax information. That's a place where I find out a lot of stuff. See who really the owner is. St. Louis City and County, you can fairly easily look them up. Dale Sweet, who's going to be at our event on Friday, June the 5th, he does, I don't know if you're on his list. Let me see if I can go find his for you. He is really a good one to find out a lot of information on. He puts stuff out a couple of times a year. And he's an attorney. He deals with the quiet titles and stuff. A lot of, some of the due diligence you'll need to know when you start looking at some of that stuff is a clear title. Sheriff's deed doesn't necessarily give you a clear title. And there could be a lot of other things. Sewer liens, there's all kinds of maybe grass cutting fees. Just a lot of things you need to know. And that's how you find this kind of stuff out, is by dealing with the people who actually do that. Dale's done a lot of quiet titles. That's you're quieting the title. That means if you can't get something straightened out, there's a court proceeding. You have all these notifications and disclosures you have to do, and then it's a process, and it takes a while. Then you get into court, and I've done actually probably hundreds of them, not myself, but my attorneys have, and that's a process where it will clear the title for you though. And that's something you're going to want to do, but you can't, in the meantime, you can't really legally do anything with the property, even though a lot of people do at times. Now, if you're buying from the a lot of things from the city. They will already have that kind of done for you. It's not a completely clear title, but they will have it to where you can start working on it right away if you buy something like that from from them. And but you need to have an expert that kind of knows that stuff. And that's the kind of stuff you'll find out from Dale. So let
I
me see if I
appreciate
can,
that.
yeah, let me see if I can find find where you can get on his list here because he's a good one to know. And let me see if
Well, I can go to his website because I was here in the last one. It's Missouri tax sale, isn't it?
okay, yeah, that's probably the best place to find out, Gabe. It's just, yeah, go there and get on his list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Certainly. Yeah, those are good conversations. That's some of the stuff. We're going to get more into the weeds on that on Friday and Saturday on June 5th and 6th because it does get a little, it's not really that it's real complicated, but there's stuff you definitely got to know like that. And finding the people, that's one of the hardest parts with a lot of this stuff too, is just finding people because a lot of times if they go to where they lose their properties for back taxes, they even come up on the sales and be even before the third year tax sale, which which comes up to where you actually own the properties. You even just getting the deeds, you got to kind of know who that is. And a lot of times the people don't want to be found. They got other stuff going on in their life besides just taxes. At least that's my experience. So you just kind of got to know that stuff. And let's see here.
John,
Yes.
this is Nancy. I earlier when you were speaking, I wrote it on June 4th, but you just said 5th. Which is it the 5th?
Yes, it's Friday, June the 5th, and Saturday, June the 6th.
Okay. And you said that's 9 to 4?
9 to 4 on Friday. That's correct.
Okay. And do we need to pre-register or anything?
Yeah, that's on the information I just put in there. Let's see here.
I must have missed it.
Okay. I'll put that back in there for you. I was looking up Dale's here.
Okay, thank
you. Yeah, we'll be happy to do that. Let's see here. Okay. There, I'm putting it in right there for you, Nancy. And if for any reason you can't download it because a couple people had, they're in the car or whatever, just send me an email later and I'll be happy to attach that and send it over to you. But that's some upcoming events with some replay links and stuff on there also for you. Okay. Yeah, let me go find, let's see, Dale here for you. Here we go. Okay. Here's Dale's website right here. There you go. Yes.
I came across a property in the city. I drive around in the city a lot, and sometimes if you're not familiar with the city, you'll find a pocket that's brand new construction. And it's just come out of nowhere, 15 houses or 12 houses. Then you drive a little further and then it's desolate again. But this property that I came across, it's in an area that's already been developed and it's newer homes. And it looked like it could be up and coming. But the question I had is that I looked up the information on the property. Now it is for sale. It's listed with the agent. When I looked up the records in the city, and it had the permits on there. Now, some of the permits were done and completed, but some other permits they weren't issued and they weren't completed. So, what do you think that was? They just quit or what? And would I be
That's a good
responsible?
question, James. You said that was listed with an agent?
Correct.
That's where I would go. I would talk to the
Yes.
agent.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were
Okay.
kind of fading out. Yeah, I
Yeah,
would talk to the
I
agent.
didn't reach out to him. Okay.
Yeah, that's
All
where you'll
right.
find out because they should have all the disclosures and everything on that. If it's not listed with somebody, then you could probably find out more from from the Public Works Department or somebody like that at the city. But I would go right to the agent, James.
Okay. They had permits and they had some forestry fees they have to clear up and some back taxes. So yeah. All right.
Okay. Yeah, that's always good stuff to know before you get in there. Now, I'd go look at the if that's newer construction, I'd look at the blocks around there too, though, because I know my experience is when they start working on a block or two in different parts of the city, a lot of times you can pick up stuff very inexpensively or even for free sometimes around there that's kind of up and coming. So you might be able to gain yourself some, just some value and maybe some built-in equity with some of those other places. Again, due
Yeah,
diligence
because
is number one.
right. Because I know there would be a total rehab, but the property next to it, I think I looked it up, and the owner they put over $100,000 into that property so far. So I'm thinking something's going on, and then you go down the next half a block, and you have houses that are 300,000 plus. So it's worth checking out. I do believe it's a multifamily.
Hmm. Yeah, that sounds like it could be a good opportunity for you, but you always, like I said, like we talk about, you always got to do your due diligence, see if it's worth putting the money into it. There's a lot of neighborhoods that we've looked at. It just really wasn't feasible to put in, $200,000-300,000 into the
Correct.
property, when you're only going to get maybe, 3,000 in rent, on multifamily over the month. And, if you look at I don't like the 1% rule, but a lot of people use the 1% rule.
Correct.
And
Mhm.
I personally don't think that's a good rule to use, even though a lot of people use it, because there's stuff you don't count on, as you know, with rental properties. You should have probably 25% put away every month just for things that come up. All it takes is one, air conditioner or heater going out. You got to put $8,000 or $10,000 in that. How long does that take you to make that back if you're only clearing $300-400 a month? I mean, that's the stuff I look at.
Right.
You got to have some reserves put away.
Yes, you do.
So,
Okay, well, thank you.
yeah, those are always good ones to explore. And I love looking at those, James, while we're out driving around. I'm constantly looking for, we always kind of joke around looking for the tired landlords with the rental properties and stuff like that, because they're out there. People get tired of it, and I heard somebody the other day in a meeting that I was in, they were just saying, eventually all the landlords get tired of the thrill of property management, because it might be fun at first. You're having fun, you're doing stuff and you're helping people. And then after a while, it kind of takes its toll on you, you know? I know we personally went to owner financing after a while. You know that we've talked about that several times, but there's nothing wrong with it. I know we got people like Dave, and I don't see Missy here today, but Dave, he's a great property manager, and really you want to have a professional, I think, on your team that's available. And in fact, there's Dave right there. I must. Would you like to tell us about your service, Dave, for a minute?
Sure, I can do that. Yeah, Missy's not in today because she's out drumming up some business. That's what that call was for. And I apologize, Gabe. I thought I muted myself and instead of turned the so.
No worries. I appreciate
meant to turn the camera off, but instead, so I apologize for that. So we're a property management company, and what we do is we take over everything for you, so you can be an investor in real estate and not be a landlord. You're still considered a landlord, but you're not dealing with the day-to-day issues of dealing with landlords. We do not own any properties. We only manage other people's properties. We have 130 different owners from around the country. We had some international, but we don't have those right now. But I guess the easiest way to put it is that you don't hear from us except on the 15th when we say your money's been deposited into your bank account and your statement is available online. We handle everything from the time a tenant moves out to getting it back on the market to do the showings, application process, leasing, everything. You do know, we do let you know when there's an issue. So if there's a maintenance issue that's pretty hefty, we'll let you know about that. And we'll let you know if a tenant gives notice and they're moving out. And then we'll also let you know when we have a new tenant for you. So that's pretty much like what we do. We just take care of everything. You just buy the property, we take over with your direction. We just handle everything.
And what areas are you in, Dave? I know you have some specific target
Yeah,
areas.
so we're a huge part of Eastern Missouri. We go to Charleston, Sykeston, up through Perryville, and then we jump up into Jefferson County and all throughout the St. Louis area. So we have an office here. We're based out of Cape Girardeau, so all the back office stuff is done here. We have a full staff here, and we have an office up in St. Louis and all of it on Olive. And Missy is our go-to person in St. Louis, and we have a maintenance person in St. Louis. So that's what we cover, and we have the ability to. We're actually looking at expanding to Poplar Bluff. I got some calls that people want us to move out there, so that's what we handle right now.
Okay, what's the best way to get a hold of you guys to find out a little bit more, Dave?
So best way to get hold of us is our office number is 573-332-7686, and Missy would be the best person to talk to, and she's extension 306.
306. Okay. All right.
So
Very good.
Missy's she's not only our person in St. Louis, she's our business development manager, and that's her big part of her job is bringing more business. So, but
yeah, she's very nice.
She's our feet on the street in the St. Louis market. She does the showing. She'll get the marketing pictures. We have James now, our maintenance person, who's going to be doing a lot of the inspections and working with the different municipalities on their inspections. So, yeah.
You guys also sell homes too, if somebody were to want to
We
sell
do.
homes,
As a matter of fact, Missy has she probably has about 4 listings right now of properties, and I wish you were here. She can tell you about them. But that's the other thing. And when I heard that U City, I'm going to give this information to Missy because she'll go to our existing owners and see if anybody's interested. So that's the big part of why I got into property management, is that I was an owner myself. I had a property manager who also happened to be my broker, and they did a great job of transactions, taking care of the transactions. But what they didn't do is help me grow my portfolio. So when I came on board, when I bought the business, we made the decision that we're going to expand, get everything set up, infrastructure set up so we can expand, and then also be part of your trusted advisor in helping you find more properties or sell properties that no longer fit your criteria. So we do probably 20% of our business is in sales. We're not competing with the Century 21s and Coldwell Banker to go out and find homeowners and home sellers. We do some of that because we're a broker and we have connections. So people say, "Can you sell my house?" Sure, we'll do that. But the majority of our sales are going to be with our investors, helping them find more properties or selling the ones they have.
You brought up a really good point there too, Dave, because it is hard to grow your portfolio or even anything if you're out chasing tenants and dealing with all the everyday aspects of it. Because I know personally, I went and I've talked about this. I went from working 7 days a week as a mortgage broker to working 8 days a week as a landlord. And it's I got up to like 36, they call them doors now, but 36 properties. I don't know how many doors that was. And it was just too much work. It just, it's really hard to get everything, like that. So it's really nice to have somebody like yourself that's what they concentrate on. You guys, that's what you do full time, and that can free you up to do other things like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle people don't realize. And I have a staff of 12 people just to manage these 600 units that we manage. That's because there is so much going on between the getting the property marketed to doing the showings to the accounting is huge. That's a big part of what we do. We do full trust accounting, and also things like the applications and the whole background checks and application process and approving the correct tenants, right? So I like to say we can't guarantee 100% of tenants, but we do the best. We mitigate your loss by doing the best we can. And I've been actually my 18-year business coming up in a couple of weeks. So we've had the experience of managing thousands of tenants. Yes, we do have some evictions, but that's out of the thousands of tenants, the percentage of evictions we do is very, very small. A lot of times the evictions come because their situations changed, lost job, whatever, huge expenses. But as far as the background checks, I think we do a pretty good job. So.
Yeah, you brought up another good point there too, because situations do change. I mean, to good people. We had and I probably talked about this before, but we bought a place one time where the lady had been there for 16 years, great tenant in place.
Yeah.
4 years went by, she was A1, everything was fine. Her brother got out of prison, had no place to go. All of a sudden, she moved him in, and then things went downhill within 6 months. Their electric got turned off. They were running a cable next door for electric. We finally had to evict them, which I really felt bad, but we had no choice.
Yeah.
They destroyed the place, ruined the appliances. When they moved out, they even took the chain link fence. Which I had never seen. I didn't even know you could do that, So you just never know. I mean, because I would have gave her an A1 rating with any background check on anything, and as it turned out, it was just really sad. But just things happen. I've seen people get divorced. And
yeah, I mean, one of the things, I had a similar situation where I had the tenant. They had been there for 10 years, at least 10 years, and then he passed away, right? And so she couldn't take care of the place by herself, so she brought her son in. And it went downhill from there. So
yeah, it's very sad when it happens.
yeah,
but you just never know. I mean, I know you guys look out and prevent most of that right up front. So that saves us, being landlords, a heck of a lot of turmoil.
So it's an investment. There's risk in all sorts of investments, right? Every investment has a risk, and what we do is our best to mitigate that risk. We manage a couple $1 million worth of real estate, and gosh, we're aware of that, and that's your property. We're aware of that, and we do our best we can to take care of that. So I'm also an owner, right? I have properties in a couple different entities that the company doesn't own, but we manage through the company. So I'm aware of how owners feel and see things. I get things that come across. I'm going, hey, as an owner, right? I have that feeling, that thought process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that goes a long way. I will tell you. Yeah, so we appreciate that. Well, thank you, Dave. All right. Anybody else got anything we want to share today? We're a couple minutes after the hour, so be respectful as much as we can of your time. Look forward to seeing you next week. We got a lot of good things coming up. If you need anything in the meantime, just send me a quick email and I'll do my best to answer as quickly as I can. Otherwise, thank you everybody for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks, John. Bye, everyone.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Yeah, thank